The championship game of the 4th annual Doc Larson Roundball Classic featured a matchup of national interest as Brooklyn, New York's Xaverian Clippers and the Siegel Stars of Murfreesboro, Tennessee traveled 7,500 miles combined for a shot at the title. Freshman George Lambert Sr. launched the first fireworks, draining a pair of 3 balls in the Clippers' first 2 possessions to pick up where he left off with his 27-point second-round performance. Next time down, Lamel Faison dished out his 23rd Roosevelt of the tourney, feeding Robert Rossiter at the block, 8-0 Clippers. The Stars answer with numbers, but Damian Clark has to save an errant no-look pass to set up Robert Brandon for Siegel Nation's first points of the contest. Robert Brandon scored 20 and 28 points in the Stars' respective wins over Colony and Bartlett in the tournament's first 2 days. He quickly adds the Stars' first 5 of the ship. But the Clippers spread Siegel's trapping zone D, and Robert Rossiter goes big to give sophomore Latique Laney an easy deuce. Clippers up 10-5. Stars inbound underneath, and Charles Clark snaps a dime to Robert Brandon for points. Then Clark is on the receiving end of a 60-foot Franklin D. Ryan Jones with the rebound and the assist. Siegel takes their first lead, 13-12. Robert Brandon reads and reacts to Robert Rossiter's skip pass. Leaves the bottom of his own for the steal and the doink. Different angle. Same result. Robert Rossiter quickly makes amends, driving baseline and finishing in a crowd. The free throw doesn't fall, but Brooklyn's Clippers are up 1. Charles Clark starts on the right wing, but with the help of 3 screens, he circles around the D for the 3 from the top of the key. Another assist from Xaverian's Dr. Dime. Lamel Faison flips it back to Latique Laney for the deuce. And the doctor drives to his office to administer the pill. Sets up Robert Rossiter for the easy at the buzzer. 18 all after 1. The no-look looks good from anywhere. Robert Brandon stab steps and skips the rock over the top. Dominique Gooch lets it rip for Tree. Look at the charity stripe. Trey Trice slips back door. Dominique Gooch hits him at the block for the sneaky deuce. The Stars get a steal at the midcourt, but the Clippers recover, and George Lambert with the Watusi. Then Lambert delivers on the offensive end, splits the D, gathers the D, and feeds the big. Latique Laney with the gimme bucket. It's not quite as pretty as it could have been, but Ryan Jones drives to short range and hits the weak side slasher with the lob. Robert Brandon with the acrobatic, if a little lucky, finish. The Stars are up 27-23, and Xaverian needs to talk things over. Tay Martin should get 2 assists for this one. Martin and Dominique Gooch work the give and go, but when Gooch loses control of the rock, Martin gets it right back to him, and Dominique makes the second chance count. But then Dominique Gooch pays it forward, bouncing the dime through and into traffic. Ryan Jones collects and finishes on the run. Murfreesboro Stars streaking up 7. Time running out in a half, and George Lambert bookends it. Finishes like he starts. Drains a much-needed tray at the buzzer to trim the deficit to 4 at intermission. Lamel Faison starts the second half with the self-assisted runners. Clippers down 2. But the Stars strike back fast. They swing it for a Charles Clark triple. But Doyen Isaac takes a handoff through the hole, finishes with a dish to Latique Laney. Clippers down by 3. But Robert Brandon shakes with the cross, drives, and dimes. Big man Damian Clark with the points. And Dominique Gooch takes the baseline, looks to add on, but Lamel Faison draws the player control foul. Clipper forward Robert Rossiter is under control, gets to the low block, and drains a shorty. But the Stars one up the Clippers, answer a dose with a trace. It's Charles Clark with the stroke once again. Robert Brandon flashes pure skill, a little drop step to the baseline and a touch jumper at a tough angle. Stars heating up. Ryan Jones and Charles Clark work a 2-man game up top, a little switch screen, and a 3-ball. Clark with his third triple of the half. The Stars are up 13. Clippers need an answer. Lamel Faison hits Robert Rossiter. Rossiter with the spin into the tuck jumper cuts the lead to 11. But the Stars turn D to O in an instant. The Clarks defend the drive, and Robert Brandon reverses the flow with the full court pass to Dominique Gooch. Down 18, the Clippers retack, work inside out, and Faison Charles trays. And Faison with the quick outlet pass to George Lambert, who feeds Robert Rossiter for the deuce. 5 quick points get the lead back down to 13. But Dominique Gooch exploits an unblocked lane to tap an O-read to Damian Clark, who converts on the putback. And Robert Brandon ends the third with a dagger. Brandon with a quick putback on the D. Gooch miss, beats the buzzer. Stars up 16 points after 3. Working on his usual dollar's worth of dimes, Lamel Faison whips a bouncer to Robert Rossiter, who pumps and crosses to finish. 3 bills worth of dimes for Faison on the weekend. The Clippers trim the lead to 11 from the stripe, and Robert Rossiter strikes again. The O-read and putback makes a game of it. The Stars add a pair from the stripe, but Rossiter rebounds and outlets to George Lambert for the easy money 9-point ball game. Then Lambert takes the rock at the top of the key, extended, drives the lane, and finishes with the scoop. It's a 7-point game with 3 minutes to play. George Lambert, same starting position, waits for the Rossiter screen, then takes the lane for the Deja Deuce. 6-point game, just over 2 to play. But the Stars use a basic inbound set to get tournament MVP and high scorer Robert Brandon the open look. Brandon kills it. Stars by 9. Buck and a half to play, and Lamel Faison calls his own digits, finishes at the 10. It's pretty, but too little too late as the clock works with the Stars. And the Stars use every bit of it and finish with a bang or a banger. The Siegel Stars travel 4,000 miles from Murfreesboro, Tennessee to pirate the ship at the 4th annual Doc Larson Roundball Classic. The Clippers' Lamel, Faison, Robert Rossiter, and George Lambert Sr. earned their way aboard Doc Larson's all-tournament team. That's Doc on the left. The Stars, Ryan Jones, Charles Clark, and Dominique Gooch are on board as well. Robert Brandon was named the tournament's MVP. There are your 2012 champions from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Siegel Nation's Stars.